Here's the translation for your message with the appropriate tone and emphasis. Hello, dear family. Sister Amelia has a special message for you today. Do you think this is just a coincidence? What if I told you that God planned this encounter even before you were born? Stay with me, because what you'll discover today might change the way you see all your connections. God never does anything by accident. Every person He places in your path has a purpose, and that purpose might surprise you. I once met a woman named Clara who told me she was on the verge of giving up on everything. At that exact moment, she crossed paths with someone who changed her life. Do you know what Clara said to me? Sister, I never doubted again that God had a purpose for me. Have you ever stopped to think about how every person who enters your life might be there for a much bigger reason than you realize? God doesn't make mistakes, and every encounter is part of His perfect plan. No matter how simple it may seem, even the most ordinary moments can carry profound purposes. Sometimes a quick conversation with a stranger, a friend who shows up at just the right time, or even a challenge with a difficult person can be a divine instrument. God uses these connections to teach, shape, and transform us. He works in silence, and often we only understand the purpose of these encounters much later. Take a moment right now. Who is the last person to unexpectedly enter your life? Write it in the comments, because that person might hold a significance you haven't yet seen. God works in mysterious ways, using people to fulfill His plans in our lives. Have you noticed how some people show up exactly when you need help, guidance, or even a push to move forward? They might bring comforting words, offer support during tough times, or even challenge us to grow. Each encounter is like a piece of a larger puzzle, and God is crafting this perfect picture. Even when someone seems to be in your life for just a fleeting moment, that moment can carry eternal lessons. Have you ever had a moment when someone appeared right when you needed them most? Share it in the comments. Your story could inspire many others. It's amazing to think that God also uses us as instruments to touch other people's lives. Have you ever stopped to imagine that you might be the answer to someone's prayer? Maybe the person you helped without expecting anything in return was praying for a solution, and God sent you to be that solution. This is what makes every encounter so special and meaningful. When we act with love and generosity, we allow God to work through us to transform the world around us. Have you ever felt used by God to help someone in an important moment? Share that experience, because it might be the confirmation someone else is looking for. Many times, the people God places in our paths aren't there to bring us comfort. They're there to challenge us. They might expose our weaknesses, confront us with truths we'd rather avoid, or push us out of our comfort zones. It can be difficult, but these interactions are essential for our growth. God doesn't work just to give us what we want. He works to shape us into who we need to be. Even the most uncomfortable encounters have a purpose. So the next time you meet someone who seems to make your life harder, ask yourself, God, what are you trying to teach me through this person? Have you ever experienced something like this? Share it in the comments. Your story could help others understand their own challenges. God also connects us with people who will stay by our side for the entire journey. These divine encounters are true gifts, supporting us through tough times and celebrating with us in victories. It's impossible to underestimate the value of these connections, because they not only reflect God's love for us, but also help us reflect His love to the world. Who are the people you consider true gifts from God in your life? Mention them in the comments and take a moment to thank God for them. Have you ever wondered why some people enter your life for just a brief moment? These connections, no matter how fleeting, often carry deep meaning. They might be encounters that awaken something within you, plant a seed of change, or help you make important decisions. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows exactly when and how to place these people in our paths. Their impact can be eternal, even if their time with us is short. Have you had someone like that in your life? Share your story in the comments. It might be what someone else needs to hear today. Each connection is an opportunity for growth, both for you and for the person who crosses your path. God uses us to transform lives, and that's something powerful. When we start to see every encounter as part of God's plan, our interactions become more meaningful. This doesn't mean we'll immediately understand the purpose of everything, but it does mean trusting that God knows what He's doing. That's why it's so important to seek discernment in prayer. Ask God, what do you want to teach me through this person? How can I be a blessing in their life? Have you ever prayed like this? Share your experience in the comments. Even the people who hurt us or confuse us have a role in God's plan. It might be hard to understand, but often those moments of pain teach us the greatest lessons. God doesn't waste any encounter, not even the ones filled with conflict. He uses everything to shape us and make us stronger. If you're facing a challenge with someone right now, trust that it's part of God's purpose for you. Have you experienced something like this before? Share your story. It might be the light someone else needs during a similar struggle. Trusting in God's plan isn't always easy, but it's the key to seeing purpose in every connection. When you realize that each person was placed in your life for a reason, your perspective changes completely. Instead of viewing encounters as random, you begin to see God's divine power in every interaction. God uses these connections to guide us, teach us, and bless us even when we don't realize it immediately. So open your heart and pay attention to the people around you. Who knows? God might be answering your prayers through them. Have you ever noticed something like this? Share it in the comments. God never makes mistakes. Every person who enters your life has a purpose greater than you can imagine. Some come to teach, others to support, and often you're also called to be the answer in someone else's life. Trust in God's divine plan and be open to learning, growing, and being used by Him. If this message touched your heart, like this video, share it with someone special and leave a comment. You might just be the inspiration someone needs today. God has an incredible purpose for each of us.